continue our patrols in the West Philippine Sea.
Philippines well understands that we have an ironclad commitment to support them.
The blue waters around the Philippines have unparalleled coral beauty. Breathtaking views and scenic atolls like the Spratly Islands. Around 100 tiny reefs are part of the Spratly Islands. However, these tiny atolls play a massive role. They increase the exclusive economic zone for both Manila and Hanoi, which means fishing boats from the Philippines and Vietnam have more area to carry out their activities. But that's not all. The seabed under the Spratly Islands has vast oil and gas deposits, which is why Vietnam and the Philippines have disputes over the archipelago. And if there's one country that can sniff out a territorial dispute and lay claim to it based on bogus history, it's China. Almost every day, Chinese ships are in the West Philippine Sea. Beijing's vessels operate around the Spratly Islands, and it's all possible because of 3 particular atolls in the Spratly Islands. Over the years, China has made 3 military bases in the Subi Reef, the Fiery Cross Reef, and the Mischief Reef. These islands were picked strategically by Beijing so that China could surround the Taiping Island, which belongs to Taiwan. Over the years, China's deployment in the Spratly Islands has almost tripled, from having just ports to fully capable airstrips and fortified military stations. But Taiwan isn't playing ball, so the bully has its eyes set on others, particularly an island controlled by the Philippines, the Sabina Shoal. Throughout this year, China and the Philippines have clashed at least 8 times in the West Philippine Sea. These exchanges have almost always been the Chinese Coast Guard and patrol ships firing water cannons and crashing and ramming into Filipino boats. And these skirmishes often take place for the control of 2 atolls, the Sabina Shoal and the Second Thomas Shoal, both of which are part of the Spratly Islands and are about 250 kilometers away from the Filipino mainland. But they are next to the military bases that Beijing has erected in the West Philippine Sea, with Mischief Reef being barely 100 kilometers away. The most recent incident is from the Sabina Shoal, where Chinese ships surrounded a Filipino vessel and rammed into it. But instead of accepting its brash behavior, Beijing has put the blame on Manila for the confrontation.
First of all, Sabina Shoal is part of China's Nansha Islands. On August 31st, a Philippine Coast Guard vessel had illegally stayed in waters near Xianbinjiao for a long time. In an unprofessional and dangerous way, it deliberately rammed a Chinese Coast Guard vessel defending what is its rightful position. This caused a collision between the vessels from both China and Philippine sides. It is, therefore, justifiable on a legitimate basis that China takes necessary measures in accordance with the law, which is legitimate, lawful, and beyond reproach.
China has accused the Philippines of deliberately colliding in the Sabina Shoal. However, the Philippines has released footage of the incident, which clearly shows the Chinese ship being the aggressor. The Chinese Coast Guard ship can be seen ramming into the Teresa Magbanua thrice. The Magbanua has been confronted twice within a few weeks. The ship has been anchored and operating from the Sabina Shoal since mid-April. It was deployed after Manila suspected that Beijing may construct a military structure to seize the uninhabited atoll, just the way it did with the Subi, Mischief, and Fiery Cross reefs. And it is just this one Filipino ship, the Magbanua, anchored at the Sabina Shoal, which has got China so agitated. Beijing accuses Manila of violating its sovereignty with the deployment of the Magbanua.
The relevant actions of the Philippines have seriously violated China's sovereignty, as well as the international law and the declaration of conduct of parties in the South China Sea. The Chinese side demands that the Philippines immediately withdraws the illegally stranded vessel and immediately stop all acts of infringement and provocation.
In the month of July, China convinced the Philippines that it was open to solving the dispute peacefully. A military-to-military hotline was established. The aim was to limit confrontations around the two disputed shoals. And in exactly a month, China made a U-turn, with the ramming incident involving the Magbanua. The United States has been the first to respond. Washington says that it's concerned by growing Chinese military activity.
So the PRC well understands the long-standing commitment the United States has under its Mutual Defense Treaty to the Philippines, and the Philippines well understands that we have an ironclad commitment to support them in their lawful exercise of their rights, their maritime rights.
Amid the rise in hostilities in recent weeks, the US also offered to send its warships to support the Filipino boats.
Would the U.S. consider, certainly within the context of consultations, every option between the two sovereign nations in terms of our mutual defense? Escort of one vessel to the other is an entirely reasonable option within our mutual defense treaty among this close alliance between the two of us.
Meanwhile, Manila has vowed to continue its patrols in the West Philippine Sea and will even deploy aircraft to counter the Chinese aggression.
Definitely, we will continue our patrols in the West Philippine Sea. No, not just the maritime sea patrols, but also our air patrols, because it is our obligation. It is our job to do that, to protect our rights, our sovereignty, and our rights in the West Philippines.
Following the involvement of the US, China says that it won't tolerate Washington meddling in the region, and that Beijing's patience with Manila was running out.
The Chinese side has taken the necessary measures in accordance with the law and regulations and has operated in a professional manner on the spot. China is committed to properly managing differences through dialogue and consultation, but patience is limited.
China's aggression has raised alarms, not just in Manila and Washington, but in Tokyo as well. In August, a Chinese reconnaissance aircraft violated Japan's airspace, making it the first such incursion ever. Japan scrambled its fighter jets to engage the Chinese threat and warned Beijing against any future adventurism. But the airspace violation, along with the ramming incidents, shows who the real aggressor in the region is.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
We'll start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital,